Assalamualaikum and hi, I'm NURUL FARAH MUHAMAD binti Muhammad Rosol, metric number A19A0730. Based on the journal article, the main keyword that I got is related to the corporate entrepreneurship syllabus. The problem that is there is a significant increase in academic research examining EO with scholarship on this topic being published regularly on a global scale. This special issue addressing the need for a more comprehensive understanding of EO worldwide, based on the concept and examining which is in instrument or dominate design of EO has emerged over the last 30 years. To this dominate design, three-dimensional character and organization EO, innovation, proactiveness and risk-taking. Consistent with this observation, it has been proven that the combination of all three EO factors explain unique variance above and beyond the variance explained by individual factor or the combination of any two elements, innovation and proactiveness. To summarize, we hope that this issue provides value guides for developing unique, imaginative contribution, which is the domain of international EO research based on more eclectic and in-depth characters of EO, which is oriented toward distinct global context.
My name is AMIRAH binti JUNAIDY and my mentor number is A198049. Next, I will explain about my part. My part is innovation and risk-taking. Firstly, innovation on this journey is the author and the researcher for a positive correlation between innovation and entrepreneurship. The researcher surveyed the dominant design assert that it is difficult to argue that the organization has exhibited entrepreneurial instead of other form of competitive behavior without trying anything new within a market. Thus, the concept of innovation determined by entrepreneurial orientation is heart-shaped, which carry the meaning of entrepreneurial orientation, dominant design, or contextual element as a strategic posture. According to Weekly and Shepherd, who explained that the notion of innovation is a calculated deviation from norm either domestically or internationally and a willingness to experiment with the approach that may or may not create new value. There is during internationalization more depth by focusing on new product service innovation. Moreover, it applies the inevitable for global entrepreneurial actor because resource devoted to exploring new approach to value creation may work as expected. Next is risk-taking. Therefore, the researcher and author also found that risk-taking positively correlate with entrepreneurship in this article. Thus, to show the importance of risk-taking is to conceptualize the soul. Nevertheless, risk-taking has been conceptualized and measured differently than innovation and proactive in dominant design. In terms of a dominant design, risk-taking level and opportunity costs are always seen to accompany innovation, experimentation, and the pursuit of the new opportunities. While entrepreneurial organization may not always like to be risk-taker, little risk-taking is inevitable for global entrepreneurial actor because resources are devoted to exploring new approach to value creation may or may not work as expected. In addition to the three dominant design components introduced by Miller on 1983, the researcher surveyed that several additional dimensions by explain entrepreneurial orientation as a distinct of and possibly international.
My name is ADILAH binti ROSLAN, A19A0050. So from part, we will explain the other theories that apply in this journal. First is proactiveness. Proactive or acting ahead of the times to take advantage of emerging market. So it's a fundamental component of our internalization focus for entrepreneurial orientations, since it suggests that the product is aimed toward international market where is the opportunity is assessed. Second is competitive aggressiveness. Competitive aggressiveness is defined as a component stance of and a forceful response of competitor act, which is qualitativeness distance from a proactiveness, which is defined as a forward-looking, opportunity-seeking approach, and this is theory from the Linkins and Dash in 2001. Competitive aggression manifests itself in behavior such as defenses market position or following reverses into market demand forward of growing market share, and this is from Linkins and this theory.
My name is MUZAIRAH binti BAKAR. My metric number is A19A0392. Today I would like to explain about autonomy. Based on the journal Researcher U et al. 2019, examine how autonomy influences performance in various cultural and environmental contexts in these particular issues. It does not always have to be this way for EO to happen. However, it is still an essential part of many entrepreneurial organizations. It is likely to be the one of the most critical part of a company readiness for corporate entrepreneurship, management support, rewards, and time availability. Autonomy and family business performance, the combined effect of environmental dynamism and national cultural. Et al. 2019, the research shows that the impact of autonomy and firm performance vary across international cultural contexts and task conditions in a configurational model. Independence is helpful for family enterprises in a performance-based culture climate. In a low dynamism environment, autonomy is practical in a socially friendly cultural framework. For the findings, EO as an internationally contextualized phenomenon. Initially, EO was tested in developed areas with slower progress in emerging market. When applied to emerging market, many principles originate in emerging markets are challenged and may benefit from a further consideration and adaptation. In this society, EO needs to be redefined to encompass these features. Adopting new EO conceptualization within international research may help EO research better understand diverse socio-economic and cultural clusters. An international or cross-cultural perspective entails being open to other EO conceptualization, even if they differ from Calvin and Slavin's. Based on globe cluster, EO's Confucian, Asian, or Middle Eastern conceptualization may be conceivable by including unique characteristics that meet essential cultural values. It may better illustrate what it means for enterprises to be entrepreneurial in diverse sociocultural situations.
In general, international entrepreneur orientation research is focused in terms of internalizations and a new market penetrations, exporting to foreign market, innovation action, which is foreign country, fostering international business growth. Building of the fundamentals work of Larkin and Des in 1996, which is explore how firm managerial approach affect their entrepreneurial behavior, conceptualizations of EO or entrepreneur orientation as a managerial strategy for sure show how much these dimensions is variety is conversable.
The part is discussion and recommendation. The main point relate to syllabus of corporate entrepreneurship theory concept. There are two factors to consider: entrepreneurial orientation and firm performance. According to the prevailing design risk-taking and opportunity cost, they are always related with innovation, experimentation, and the search of new opportunities, while risk-taking is evidence features of entrepreneurial business. It has been conceptualized and scored differently than innovation and proactiveness in a prevalent design, and it is not clear that firm will always desire to maximize risk-taking. The second part is EO dominant design or conceptual features of EO as a strategic posture in innovation. That is where internationalization focus EO explicitly emphasize new entry within a foreign market. New market entry is not captured within the dominant design and measurement of EO, which focus instead on new product service innovation.
My name is Muhammad dari ZAFRAN bin Muhammad Yusuf. My metric number is AY980318. So for the weakness of the article and the suggest way to improve it is the weakness that can be concluded quickly, and it also a topic that will be addressed in the future, and among the weakness encountered are gap spot. For the example, Elverson and Sandberg says gaps are frequently proposed in which EO nomological network is incrementally extended without a necessary considering extremely or challenging its underlying assumption. The suggestion that can help this problem is to focus on international performance, says Karami and Tan in 2009. Their article looked at how EO affects internationalization success by looking at the function of experiential learning in creating contextual intelligence and networking as a critical way for the business acquire complementary resources to take advantage of possibilities. This study contributes to our understanding of mediating effects, which is a critical EO and strong performance link.
I'm SYAHIRAH binti MAZLAN A198063. In conclusion, changing the concept of entrepreneurial orientation EO from to something different result in the different or more accurate form of EO in a particular context. In international research, there are two opportunities that offer possible of additional dimension in describing entrepreneurial orientation EO. When EO is contextualization in a particular social culture context, or when EO is examined from an international perspective of a concentrate phenomenon, or as an international entrepreneurial orientation. And this can include international work can be focused on foresting international market entry. Although the dominant design of EO is generally obsesses and exhibits measurement invariant across culture context, the acceptable of new concept EO with different or more detailed label in international research. allow the research EO to proceed more equally in socio-economic culture group. Based on this journal, which is tied to the corporate entrepreneurship syllabus, is the entrepreneurial orientation of a business is a dimension of strategic posture represented by the tendency to take business risks, the tendency to act aggressively, competitively, proactively, and really on required product innovation. By considering entrepreneurial orientation from a three-dimensional autonomical aspect, it can contextually capture different is how organization can support and pursue internationalization. From the three-dimensional autonomy are innovation, proactivity of the EO concept, and the risk-taking. Behind the three dominant design components introduced by Miller 1983, there are several additional national dimensions that explain EO as a distinct international focus and contextual permanent in a broad family of concepts of EO contract.